Hello, my name's Debbie and I'm a 50-something artist living in the Lake District, UK, and I make videos about art and life. So if that is something you might like, I invite you to stick around. In this week's video, I return to an old friend, my gouache palette, and I experiment with that, and then I move on to a new material that I've never tried before in my work and find out how it opens my process even more. So as you can see, this is not a new palette. It's been well loved and well used. It's a solid piece of kit. It comes with a good range of colours, its own brush and white in a tube, and as you see when I'm swatching these colours how vibrant and pigmented they are. They're a really good quality addition to any mixed media artist's toolbox. So if you haven't used gouache before, it's basically an opaque watercolour and you would use it as such. So any techniques you like in watercolour, like wet on wet, you're going to be able to do with gouache. This gouache is a regular gouache, which means once it's dried it can be reactivated with water, and as can traditional watercolour as well. As a mixed media artist, I find this a bit problematic because I work layer on layer, so I layer up my work, and if things can be reactivated with water or any moisture, that can get a bit muddy, and that is why I have usually stuck to acrylic gouache in my work. I love acrylic gouache, I don't think I'll ever give it up, but one thing I've noticed is sometimes instead of drying extremely matte like a true gouache, sometimes it can have a little bit of sheen to it depending on what brand you use, and I don't mind that. It's part and parcel of the acrylic nature, but I did want to try and find something that laid absolutely matte flat. So I've experimented with a few brands. Golden have got a matte acrylic and it does lay really flat, it's lovely and matte. Bit pricey. So then I found out about something called flash paint, FLASHE, and that's kind of like a vinyl emulsion, and that's supposed to be ultra matte, and again I wanted to try that, but again that's very pricey. So I had a little bit of a think and I thought, where else can I get emulsion? And I thought, well, how about the DIY store? And then I thought, you know what, maybe I'm not allowed to do that in art. Maybe that's a no-no, maybe it's wrong. And I just had a bit of a wake-up call this week about when is it that we start as artists to stop playing? When do we stop experimenting? When do we stop enjoying the process of wondering what this will do and what that will do? Because we all hark back to our childhood days where, you know, we didn't care what other people thought of our work. We just dived in and enjoyed the process, and we weren't too bothered about what we got at the end of it. And then somewhere along the way, we became very obsessed with the end result. So much so that we started valuing other people's opinions over our own, started valuing feedback from strangers on the internet, started worrying that it wasn't the correct way to do something. And I have to keep reminding myself every so often that Art is about creativity and play is at the hub of creativity. You cannot create art unless you are ready to make mistakes, unless you are ready to experiment, to find out what this will do, what that will do, and even appear wrong in the eyes of your peers. So that's what I'm doing with this emulsion paint. I don't care what other people think. I'm having a go. And you know what? I really enjoyed it. I am so glad I got these tester pots. So yeah, I am really glad I took the time to listen to my childhood self and just dive in and try something new. I will maybe go and get a different colour for the red. So there was an orange there, a deep orange. I might go and get that, and there's a turquoisey blue that I had my eye on. I might go and experiment with that, but I think I'm going to continue experimenting with this emulsion paint. Don't see why not. It's good enough for my house, it's good enough for me. Whenever I look for a new material and I'm not ready to dive into a lot of colours, what I do and what I encourage you to do if you're also dabbling with buying a few of things is go for something that resembles a primary set. So look for something blue, something in the yellow range and something in the red range. That way you're going to get a really good mix of colours when you start mixing them together. And if you've got a black and a white at home, or a black and a white you can access, that is going to give you a great range of tones as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. The interaction really helps the YouTube algorithm push my videos out to even more people, and I would really appreciate that. And yeah, leave a comment. I read everything that people write and I respond to every comment. So what do you think? When do we lose that? What point in our lives do we lose our creativity and begin to worry about the end product? Do you do this too? Is it something you have to keep reminding yourself of? When did we lose that childlike fun and love of just playing?